sort of honored and appreciated this way in this film, to have her story be told.
Do you think doing this film has kind of inspired you to maybe get involved I mean, there's such a push to get involved in Africa and things like that.
It is, absolutely. And certainly this has brought to light for me what is going on in Sudan, what continues to go on in Sudan. Admittedly, I did know a little bit, I didn't know enough. Certainly I knew what I'd read, I knew the headlines, but I didn't actually understand the scope of it, the full magnitude of what continues to go on. And once you familiarize yourself with the statistics, it's absolutely incomprehensible. I mean, truly, 60,000 kids being abducted, raped, tortured, the atrocities that are committed against all men, women, and children over there. It's scary, you know. And when you see a movie like this that humanizes it for people, I think that's what's so impactful. When I read it, it moved me. But when you see it, and when I see it with audiences, people are begging the questions: what can I do? How can I make a difference? And listen, you know, maybe it's not picking up a gun and going to Africa. Maybe it's just going on Angels of East Africa and donating $5, $10, $20, which, by the way, goes a hell of a long way in a place called Africa. Or maybe if you're just so compelled to maybe even look in your own backyard. You know, there are so many children all over this world, all over this city, all over the cities across America that need help, that need attention, that need mentoring. So if it just moves you a little bit, and Sam will say, you know, help us out or help any organization. But what we really want this movie to do is to have it be an opportunity to educate yourself about that part of the world, inspiring you to do something, you know, even if it's just, you know, writing a check. That's a lot. That's more than what we maybe did yesterday. So that's what we're hoping.
They never really defined in the film your character, Lynn. Once Sam gets out of prison, you reveal that you've found God and that, you know, God is now a special part of your life. Did Lynn ever talk to you about what was the defining moment for her? Was it him going to prison that made her decide that she needed to find God?
Yeah, and Lynn was, you know, had taken her fair share of drugs and was going down a life of self-destruction. And I think that she saw that both of them were quite heavily, and that I think she'll say, like, if she wasn't able to find God first, that I don't know if either of them would maybe have made it. She was definitely the catalyst. And I think she was, for a couple of years, you know, she waited patiently and encouraged him and was there by his side. And I'll tell you what, again, that's a woman who's stuck by her man. And a lot of times people question, I think, well, why did she stick around? Why did she endure? Well, the reality is she had already gone through hell and back with him, you know, through his addictions and his aggression and all of that. So now he was actually doing good, you know, so it's hard to turn your back on somebody who's actually turned their lives around and then as a result turn around the lives of thousands of children. It's, I think that gave her perspective, is knowing what their history was.
What does Lynn had to say about your performance, and then what is it like to discuss that with someone that you're actually playing?
She's very proud. I think she made a comment. I will go into details because it was like a very personal thing when we got to discuss it. But she said to some effect that she didn't realize how strong she really was, and I think Sam had seen it and tried to tell her, you know, and but I think it was something about maybe seeing firsthand all of the things that she has really experienced over the last few years. It was a very emotional, I think, journey for her. And I'll tell you what, we had a standing ovation in Toronto, and to see the look on her and Sam's face, I can't tell you of a couple that's more deserving of a standing ovation. So that was really special to witness.
So, Marc Forster as a director, compared to other directors that you've worked with, can you give us a comparison?
You know, Marc is such a gentle soul. He's such a quiet, quietude about him. He's very calm, cool, and collected. He's very trusting of his actors. I think he also has a real pulse on humanity. He's a very much of a worldview, and I mean that kind of as humans collectively, and then of the human spirit individually. And I think that's kind of a through line in a lot of his films that we've seen. I can't say really enough about him. You know, he has such faith in his actors, and he really allows you to kind of try anything, and then he sort of guides you without you even knowing it, to give a performance that even surprises yourself. You know, he has that sort of way about him. But I think the world of him. I hope I get to work with him again and again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first film, outside of Due Date, of course, where you played a mother? Because I was thinking back on that. And I was wondering.
Eagle Eye. I played Mom.
Okay, Eagle Eye.
And Trucker.
That's right, you did. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is that kind of odd though? I mean, because it seems like, especially with a film like this, that there's a certain, almost like a maturity, just in terms of acting, that comes with, you know, playing not only a real life person, but playing a motherly figure, and a woman that's kind of the rock for the foundation of, you know, the man that's going off to do this unbelievable
I'm all
task.
of the above.
You're all of the above.
No, you know, I am a mom. I'm a mom to a nearly 3-year-old daughter. You know, there could be maybe maturity. You know, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I grew up with a lot of children in our home. My mom ran a daycare out of our home for 40 years. We were a foster family, so we fostered a lot of children. So I've always sort of felt that nurturing quality, which was an incredible trait that my mom passed on.